Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Mary and today it's another come cook with me. I'm gonna take you guys through a little idea that I have and we're just gonna have a nice time together just cooking a dish for a 7-course menu because I just have something that I want to experiment with and do. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna talk about plant-based cooking. We're gonna talk about ways to be more sustainable in the kitchen and just let's see where this takes us. But before we do so, this video is sponsored. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, and if you don't know Skillshare at this point, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of different courses. I've been partnering up with them for a while because I'm always looking for ways to improve the skills that I already have as well as learn new things. And when it comes to cooking, now I am no actual professional chef. I just love eating and love cooking, and I'm always looking for ways to feel inspired and motivated, and I love checking out the courses on Skillshare for new ways of improving my techniques and my overall just gastro-related capabilities. And especially this course has been something I've been going back to several times over the years. It's inspirational not only to see these beautiful dishes that come out of the minds of great chefs, but I also love learning about the ways you can use different ingredients to balance each other out and how to mix and match different ingredients that you might not have thought of. So this is something that I absolutely recommend if you're interested in cooking, or if you're interested in basically anything. Like low-key, Skillshare has something for you. So I've also left the link down below, and the first 1,000 people to click it will get a 3-month trial of Skillshare, so you can all get started. Now, back to the kitchen, yo. Some people outside my window are going bananas. I don't know. It's Saturday, so obviously people are having a blast. Anyway, I am in my kitchen and I cannot let go of this one thought, and it's just beet. My job is just beet. So recently I found these beets. They are boiled in a little plastic bag. I found them in a supermarket in one of those anti-food waste, these are about to expire, these are about to go bad bins. And I reduce my plastic waste as much as possible, but whenever I see things that I feel intrigued by or curious by in one of those anti-food waste bins, I grab it no matter the packaging basically. And I like beets as much as the next person, which is basically not at all. I know some people are really into beets and can just have them raw or in salads or just a little baked or something like that. I'm not really into it. I think it tastes a lot like dirt, but I have this idea of how to just use the beetroot texture without the beetrooty flavor. So because these are boiled, they're a lot softer. So I think we need to do a dish with this. And I think this is gonna be the main focus of this dish. I'm just in the mood to make a little tiny starter dish, just something really light and elegant, and I have some produce that I want to use for this. This is just gonna be a cute little organic cooking vlog where I just figure things out basically. So I think what we want to do with this today is just gonna, 1 second. Okie dokie, okie dokie. We're gonna cut them real thin. So I really did choose this beetroot life whilst wearing just a white t-shirt, but I digress. So we're gonna cut them really, really thin. I swear by the microplane equipment for this. It's also super easy to find secondhand, by the way. I did buy, when I started cooking and like doing more advanced things, I got some equipment from not microplanes, like another like cheap knockoff thing. It never really worked out and the result wasn't as smooth and nice and elegant. So I found this on Facebook Marketplace. Microplanes is by far the thing I swear to at this point. So we're just gonna use that real quick. Medium to thin thickness. Yeehaw, cowboy. Basically, like, this is what we end up with. Simply just going off of texture is very like tuna. Like, it's very like really raw, thin sliced tuna. It's kind of like that, and we will be using it similarly, I think, because we're gonna make a marinade with nori sheets and just gonna add some of those oceany flavors. And I think it's just gonna work out really well because of the texture. It isn't that like really hard root anymore. We're sort of doing something different here. Gonna make a really quick marinade right here. So I'm just gonna take some sesame seed oil. This is a roasted sesame seed oil. A bunch of that in my little jar. I also have some soy sauce. Perfect. Okay, and then I have my nori sheets. I bought this bag ages ago and it doesn't work really for sushi anymore because the texture, I don't know if you've ever like bought a bag of nori sheets and then left them out open. It just like, it feels the sheets aren't as nice and crispy. They become like really hard to chew and it's just not fun. But you can still use these for flavor, even if they don't work in sushi rolls. These only work for that at this point. It's kind of old, but you know, tough life. We're not about wasting things here. So this amount of nori is fine. I just rip it up into small bits. Easy, easy. I just might find a little spoon. A little spoon. Submerge them in there. There we go. And then I'll just start layering in my beetroot. And they're not all gonna be completely covered, but you're gonna shake the jar when it's full, and I think the marinade is gonna do whatever it's doing. We're just gonna put this in the fridge while we get started on some of our other things, because this can be in the fridge all day. So if I were to make this at a dinner party, I would prep this either the day before, honestly, or in the morning. So the glass is full. I'm just gonna shake it to cover everything in the marinade, and we're just gonna put this in the fridge. Okay, so for my next trick, I'll be making a puree. I have a few leftover bits of this root of celery, and we're gonna use that to make a puree. I am obsessed, and I have been obsessed, honestly, for months. I love this vegetable so much. I think it has an amazing flavor. It's so versatile. You can do so many things with it, and it's super, super big. Like they often come like a big chunk. And they're really cheap often as well. I guess because a lot of people don't really know what to do with it. So I can get a lot of bang for my buck here when it comes to root of celery. I'm just gonna take my vegetable and cut it into small bits and put them into my pot. And yeah, we're gonna make a puree because I have a vision. And we're gonna make a puree that we can use both in the dish and on the dish. And you could also use a mayo or whatever you wanted, but I love this flavor. I also use it in desserts sometimes, so I'll add a little bit of sugar or some syrup to a puree or a cake, and then I'll add root of celery as well. I think it has such an amazing, really interesting flavor. And adding things in sweet cuisine or like in sweeter dishes that isn't normally associated with desserts, I think is super interesting. So generally I've had a lot of luck doing that. And you know, it also keeps people on their toes a little bit when they're visiting you. It's like, oh my god, it's like crazy vegan girl. She's putting vegetables as our dessert, how dare she? Anyway, I have my little pot with my root of celery, and first of all, we're gonna add in some oat milk. I've had this oat milk lying around for ages, so this is just an excuse to use it at this point. I'm gonna fill it just so the root is covered, add some salt. Then I found this huge plant-based cream, and it's so big, so instead of buying small containers in normal grocery stores, I can get this bigger container. That saves me a lot of packaging, and this is an absolute beauty to use, to be honest. It also whips up like whipped cream, but it isn't sweetened like a lot of the Alpro type of products are. The whipped cream, or like the plant-based whipped creams, are often very, very, very sweet, and this can be used both in sweet and savory dishes, so I'm very excited. So we're also just going to add in a big gulp. We want a very decadent little puree that's going to stand in really sharp contrast to the flavors of the beetroot. So we're gonna put this on the stove on medium heat until our vegetables are completely soft. You can smash them with a fork. You can do this, by the way, with a lot of different vegetables. I also love to do it with cauliflower. You can do it with potatoes, obviously. But there's so many ways of doing this, and making purees is just such an amazing way of just adding a little bit of extra flavor to your dish. And you can also make this in advance, even the day before. Put it into a little squeeze bottle. Bob's your uncle. I'm just talking to you while you're not there. Or like I left. Okay, we're gonna turn on the oven. Still just talking to you guys. So now there's an oven sound. But we're making a decorative tuile in this beehive pattern. And I just measured out everything that I need. So I'll take you guys through what I have. And yeah, it's super easy to do. High reward for sure. But it's very difficult to fuck this one up, I would say. 2.5 tablespoons of flour. Okay, then about a teaspoon's worth of sugar. Just a little bit of salt. This is oat milk, about 2 tablespoons. Using all my small cups here. Then I took a little bit of powdered egg replacement, mixed it with just a tablespoon of oat milk. Just gonna give that a good stir. I'm gonna add that in as well. I got a big 1 kilo bag of this baking related egg replacement. I'm never going to run out. Like, never in a million years am I going to run out. So I feel like that's good. So, and then you can basically stop here, right? But we're going to make it black. So I have some ash. One second. I have ash, I promise. Oh, it's super dark. This is leek ash that I made a while ago. So I just took some leek. I just put it into the oven until it was burnt, and like completely burnt. And then I ran it through a grinder. Easy. And yeah, then you have leek ash. And it basically just tastes like an open fire. And I think it's a really cool flavor to use. This looks a little bit gray, but when we're baking it, it's gonna look a lot different, and it's gonna be in a really cool sharp contrast to both the puree that's gonna be completely white, and then we have the beautiful red beetroot. So I love cooking with color contrast and just always thinking about how is this going to look, and can we find something that both matches in flavor but that also balances things out visually. And that's just one of my favorite things to do. I get so excited about it. By the way, if you were interested in the packaging for the things I just used, this is it. I have my sugar and my flour, I have my oat milk, and I have the egg replacement. This silicone mat owns my entire life. Just with a little spatula you can just smooth everything out. I love using this grey colour because it's not something we typically associate with something that's appetizing, but I think it's gonna have a really cool visual effect once the dish is put together. Low-key, this reminds me a little bit of the grey stuff from Beauty and the Beast. It's kind of like the same grey, although I actually think that was supposed to be foie gras that they showed like that, but I don't think they said it, but I think that was like the point, maybe. I don't know. Foie gras isn't typically grey, but I think in the Disney World they served the grey stuff and then it was foie gras, but I think they changed it and now it's sort of like a dessert thing with Oreo, and like it makes a lot more sense now. Also because like foie gras is insane. It's an insane thing that we value a food item because the animal suffered a little bit more than usual. That's insane to me. When you make these tuile in the silicone molds, it's very important to scrape all the excess dough off if you want a very clean, sleek looking result. This is gonna go, it's just a big one that misses something. Oh, perfectionism, where art thou? I can keep doing this for ages, like don't mind me. Okay, now I'm satisfied. So this is gonna go in the oven just for a couple of minutes. I think I set my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. And this is just gonna go in the oven, and then when we take them out of the oven, it's really important to let them cool for a tiny, tiny bit, but not too long. If they cool down all the way, they're gonna be impossible to remove from the mold. So it still needs to be warm when we take it out. And sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. That's why you make more than you need, always. Okay, so I have in my hand the tuile. Oh, it's a good one. It's very good, it's very good. So I did another thing actually. Oh, this just fell right off. Came off right away. Cool, okay. So I also did this thing where I took some of the ash and I just sprinkled it on top. None of them broke. Actually, that's insane for me because usually some of them always breaks. I am so excited, so stoked about this. So if I can just not fuck it up for a second, that could be cool. Anyway, there we are, last one. Okay, so look at this. So I'll just take my tweezers, just clean them out a little bit if there is any gunk in there or if there's any just runoff. Super fragile though. I think we should taste one as well because obviously they need to taste nice too. I think this is my favorite one. Oh, I don't think the camera picks up on the color differences, but some of them are significantly darker than other ones. Taste it. Salty. Like a crisp. The root of celery is completely cooked. We're gonna strain the root of celery into our food processor now, and we can use the milk cream combo if the puree is a little too thick, needs a little bit moisture. We can add a little bit of it in. It's just really nice. Also, if you're doing this and you're also making a gravy or any kind of other thing, you can use that liquid. It's amazing. It's so decadent and good. We are not about wasting this. First of all, we're just going to process this without anything. I'll go back in and see if it needs salt, pepper, lemon, and then we'll add some cold butter as well to it, just to give it that really nice creamy texture. Okay, taste test. Seriously, I use so many spoons for cooking that I could just be the witch of 1,000 spoons. Ooh, I love this flavor so much, it's so good. This is smooth. It can get a lot smoother. Take another strainer. Have you guessed it? another spoon. Then I'm gonna push the puree through my strainer and that way get this really nice, silky, creamy puree. If you have friends to cook with, this is one of the things that you can make them do while you do all the more exciting stuff. Job that I have given most of my friends when we cook together. She's like, can you strain this for me? That'd be super helpful. And it is very helpful because I don't want to do it because it's boring. Now this is always just a big old mess and there are better ways of doing it. If you have larger quantities of your puree, I would recommend putting it into a little reusable bag and then piping it into the squeeze bottle. You could do that. I'm just gonna wing it. We got this, we're capable, it's fine. Once I have all the puree into the squeeze bottle, I'll just put it in the fridge until I need it. Also, these are made of plastic and this is something I wouldn't have gotten for my kitchen a few years ago under no circumstances, but I reuse these over and over and they have been an absolute lifesaver, both for sauces, dressing, purees, everything like that. If I'm going to save it in my fridge, both as leftovers or before I need to arrange my dish, and just these are lifesavers and I reuse them over and over and over again, so I really don't feel bad about using plastic here. While we're at it, because we are cooking, right? We could do just a little glass of wine while we cook. I think that's okay. I don't even want to discuss it. It's time to finish our beetroot. This has been marinating for a hot second, 2 hours or something like that. Place them on top of each other and then we're gonna do really fine small cubes like bonnoise style. Now from the second I started making this dish, I knew what plate I wanted to use. So we're just gonna use this plate and just gonna remove my beetroot here. And on top of my plate, in the middle, I'm gonna put my little steel ring and I'm gonna start to fill the beetroot into the steel ring. Let it set for a little bit. You can put it in the fridge here just to make sure that there aren't any fallout. I have a dishwasher that's pretty loud right now, but can you hear this? My sink is just going at it. The witch of 1,000 spoon prevails. Okay, so slightly just pressing down so we get a nice even layer. Okay, removing all the small runoffs here so we have a nice clean plate. We've come to my favorite part. Let's assemble the dish. Okay, so let's start by removing. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's the money. Oh, that's nice. Okay, okay. We're gonna take our tuile and put it right on top, just like that. And then the puree. I really recommend doing just a couple of test shots off the plate just to get a feeling of how you're gonna make the best small dots. And there, okay. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just adding the puree into some of the holes in the tuile throughout half the dish, I think. We're not gonna do all of them, just a couple. Greens, I have some herbs in my window that I can use for things just like this. This is a little bit of cress. Add them on with our tweezers. This always takes bloody forever because I want it to be precise and nice. Pop that shit right on there. There we go. Okay. I think it's very important though to mention that this is not a meal. This is a dish. I have seen a couple of people misinterpret what I am trying to do with these dishes. I'm having so much fun when I serve something like this. I usually serve loads of different dishes, loads of different plates, around 6 or 7. And when you get smaller portions, but over the course of a bigger meal, several hours, this is going to be absolutely filling. You also have bread and drinks, and then this continuous supply of new dishes. So this is not a meal in and of itself. This is a small starter. You can also use it in between dishes if you want. And it's just a fun thing to do with something you wouldn't expect. This doesn't taste like beetroot at all. Now, just completely reminding myself that I need to actually eat it as well. So the last time I did something with beetroot, I got a lot of questions regarding whether or not it tastes like beetroot, because a lot of people don't really like beetroot all that lot. Anyway, here goes. Okay, and this doesn't taste like beetroot. It tastes like nori and sesame oil, and we have the puree. The beetroot just, it carries all these other flavors, and then it has this texture That's really, really nice. Will absolutely even make the strongest beetroot hater reconsider. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video, and let me know if you want more, like more casual, just cook with me, let's see what happens types of videos. Also a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I hope that you liked it. Have an amazing day and see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!